Welcome back, everybody, to the After Hours Gaming League Season 3. We're in week number 3 as well in our match between Intel and Palantir. Starting over at the bottom left-hand side is our red Protoss player for Team Palantir. It is Filthyrake, who is the captain of the team, actually, and I'm told he doesn't actually play too often in the After Hours Gaming League. He's actually undefeated so far, which is, well, I mean, he's played one game, but that's still, he won that game, and he's undefeated. That's Filthyrake's claim to fame, and we are certainly none to take that away from him. It looks like, well, we'll see what he is able to do here against a powerful Terran player here. He was actually previously a Zerg in Wings of Liberty, I believe, but playing for Intel over in the top right-hand side as our blue Terran player is Jehova. And of course, we'll keep an eye on, as we said, some of we said in the previous game, seeing some of the interesting new units that are in Heart of the Swarm. Perhaps we'll see some of those today. I have been told by Filthyrake that he does like a little bit of Oracle action, so we'll see if that comes along from him. But of course, no cheese to start off. This map not too fancy for cheese. If you want to try that out on this one, you can do some interesting things in PvP with cannon cheese, but we're not in that particular matchup just yet. But as we can see, Filthyrake going to have a quick look through, is going to be able to see that his opponent's gotten started on that barracks. He does also have the gas started as well. Now, we did mention in the previous game, as we saw, the Reapers have made a little bit of a comeback. Now, they're not necessarily a strong, powerful unit that they once were in, probably about a month ago in Heart of the Swarm, where you would see quite a lot of Reapers being used in almost any matchup because of their speed buff and the changes to the way that they're, of course, they get the high ground vision and the heal over time when they're not in combat. Of course, with the changes so that they are now a little bit faster but do less damage and no longer have the, I believe, it was called battle awareness, I believe, battlefield awareness, I believe that's what it was called, to spot up on the high ground. But they are now very, very quick and are able to be utilized as very nice scouts. Now, you can throw them around and do some really good stuff with them right at the start of a game, and you won't necessarily destroy mineral lines like they once did, but you can get some really good scouting off. Perhaps if you catch a player off guard, you might be able to get through a couple of their workers in the mineral line. But yeah, you can, like, you wouldn't have been able to do it before, where you would throw just a couple of workers at a Reaper to try and kill it. That would never work against a player who had some even just semi-decent micro, but now you can do that because they don't actually do as much damage, and it's not too bad in the end. But I think we will have a couple of Reapers coming out from Jehova right now. He's in fact got them reactoring out. Is that a word? I think that's a word. So he's going to have a couple of those out on the map already. As we did see, the Marine did catch the scouting probe of Filthyrake and was able to get rid of that. Looks like we will have a second gas as well, so it's not going to be too quick of an expansion from Jehova. He's going to follow this up, perhaps with a couple more Reapers. We'll see. Just after this, it looks like we are going to get a factory going down. Yep, it is a factory. 2 Reapers coming out straight away, going to jump down on that front door balcony of the base here. This is, of course, one of the big features of Antigua Shipyard, is the fact that you can jump straight up here. With units like Reapers, of course, the Colossi can walk down there as well, their own little catwalk that they can jump down, and he is going to come through. We'll keep an eye on how much damage he is able to get. It looks like Filthyrake completely unaware of that for the moment. You can see how much damage they, well, how little damage they do compared to what they once were, and it looks like Filthyrake is finally reacting to this. Unfortunately, he only has a couple of Zealots out at the start, and the Zealots, not the most fantastic unit to utilize to try and take down Reapers, and in fact, almost gets us the surround on the Reapers there with the probes, but unfortunately, there has been quite a sizable amount of damage done. Good target fire from Jehova there, and has been able to get out of there. And as we can see, you can hear the sound. The Reapers are healing up. They're all good right now. But there is that Oracle opening here from our Protoss player Filthyrake. It looks like there is going to be a double starport coming out from Jehova, so he's going to have a few units out to defend. I would assume at least 1, maybe 2 Vikings will come out to defend against that. The Oracle actually coming across to try and see if he can deal with the Reapers, and is able to gets one. The second one is going to Oh, wait, no, he does get it. Alright, cool. He is able to finally finish that off. The Mothership Core does come out, and we will see that Filthyrake should be relatively well protected against anything like that if it were to occur again. But as we can see, it looks like we are going to have what I would assume is going to be a Hellbat delivery force coming along with a medevac, probably going to get started up. There it is, a starport fixing up a medevac right now. There is also a Viking on the way. This is like a really interesting part of this particular matchup, and also in TvZ as well. I've noticed in a little bit of HOTS, you do see Terrans stay on one base a little bit longer because they can get a little bit more damage done. We can see that Jehova was able to get 6 workers killed in total. Not too bad at all. Does keep him in the lead for the moment, which is not too bad for a Terran, given that they do have the mules to add in some extra mineral income as well. And we will see that it is going to be a Hellion base play. The armory finishing up just in time. We'll probably see the Hellions switch over to Hellbats. There they are. Keep in mind, these guys, while being mechanical, are also biological, so these medevacs are able to heal them up if need be, and we'll probably see him try and just dump them straight into the mineral line. And with their greater damage that the Hellbats have now, one of the recent patches did change it so that they don't get the bonus blue flame damage, but they do have 30 damage to light already straight off the bat, and that is certainly something to be worried about if you are a Protoss player and suddenly you've got Hellbats in your mineral line. But we do see 3 Oracles heading across for Filthyrake, and there is that drop, just dumping them straight in. The Photon Overcharge goes on the Nexus here for Filthyrake, is going to help defend that, but at what cost? At what cost? 22, 23, 24, 25. It continues to grow here, and Filthyrake's mineral line has been absolutely decimated there. The Photon Overcharge will try and finish off the medevac, but is not able to really get anything done. A couple of Widow Mines now popping out for Jehova as well. The Oracle's now getting inside the mineral line, but not really getting too much. Not too much focus there from Filthyrake. Unfortunately, the Oracles are able to get a few kills out, but I mean, they get cleaned up quite quickly, and that is not an even tally right now. 7 worker kills to 25. I don't think that is where Filthyrake wants to be right now. He's unfortunately going to be in a little bit of an uphill battle. It is much like what happened in our previous game, where we had Preeminence do an absolutely incredible amount of damage done right at the start with his early Oracles. However, the tables have turned. Now it is turned around to be a lot of Hellbats doing some damage right at the start for Jehova on Team Intel, and Palantir's Filthyrake is going to be the one with an uphill battle. So we'll see what he's able to do here. He does have a sizable force of, you know, some early Zealots and Sentries down here at the natural, but I mean, that is not where the threat is going to come from. It looks like Jehova is getting ready to throw down another Hellbat delivery inside the main base. He's got 4 all ready to go. The Mothership Core is here. She doesn't, now she does, I was about to say, she doesn't have enough energy for a Photon Overcharge, but she does now. We'll see if that gets started. The shiny disco ball just floating around inside the main base at the moment. Probably doesn't want to head out too far, but as we can see, we've got Jehova actually continuing to stick with this interesting sort of opening, but the Hellbats do get inside. They get more damage done. This mineral line completely devoid of workers right now. There is one now coming in. He's a very daring probe, and even, as you can see, the Hellbats, with the assistance of the medevac to throw down some heals, are even able to take care of Stalkers, which is nothing too short of useful for a Terran player as well. And the Mothership Core does come along. Sentries are able to help defend that as well, but I mean, the worker tally at this moment for Filthyrake sitting at 9. He's in a very, very awkward spot. Looks like he is going to try and go for a possible, like a small gateway attack, but the problem is he's going to have absolutely no resources to try and help out with this. A mineral mine in the middle. No, it's actually a Widow Mine in the middle. Takes care of one of the sentries there from Filthyrake, and that removes one of his forces as well. Looks like the SCV was able to get away. A couple of bunkers being constructed at the front for Jehova. He's got a Widow Mine here as well. He's continuing to produce some more of those very powerful Hellbats as we saw them before, even able to deal with things like the Stalkers as well, which is pretty cool for a Terran player. But You know, situation lies at Filthyrake sitting at a total of 13 workers right now. His opponent, Jehova, sitting at 33 of his own. A couple of medevacs still continuing to come out for Jehova. But it's interesting, he's sort of switched back across to a bio style now. So he's switched it into what started out an interesting sort of semi-mech style. I don't want to say it was a mech because there really wasn't too much of a mech following to it, because there were those a few Marines and Marauders at the start. Of course, the medevacs there as well. But I mean, for all intents and purposes it was. Now we're going to switch it back to some bio with these with the racks getting started. Stim has now finished up. We got Marines and Marauders on the way. A Viking cluster has now just moved through the top section of the map. I'm not sure what the plan for them is. Looks like they are just trying to find any stray oracles that might be around on the map, not to mention any bases. It's a big feature of this map. Antigua Shipyard is the only bases that are actually you know, not on the edge of the map are these two mineral lines just in the center. Of course, the gold bases there, not really a very easy thing to take, but of course they are in the center, which means they won't be scouted out by things like the medevacs and these Vikings that are out. But of course, we're not really going to get that far. I have a funny feeling that Jehova is going to be able to finish this game up way before we actually get to that stage, but he is going to continue along. More racks are being built down at the natural here as well. We got a total of 6 racks available for production here for Jehova. He's also got that factory with the reactor. We've now got double starport with reactor as well. And it looks like another Hellbat drop is going to proceed through the southern side of the map. Jehova just continuing to absolutely decimate his opponent's mineral line. 39 worker kills in total for him. Everything is looking very good for Jehova right now. And I think he's about to get prepared for that drop inside the natural. Medevac sitting down here very calmly. Of course, we've got a lot of map control for Jehova as well. He's got Vikings around the map that have been doing a good job in clearing out any possible units that might be around. And there they go. There's napalm spray just jetting all over the place there, and he is able to get a few more kills. Not able to target down some of the rest of the pros, but he is doing his best to get rid of some of them, and more workers going down. That is going to take a Filthyrake down to a total of, wow, that is going to take him down to 26 workers in total. He's boosted it back up from where it previously once was at a very minimal total of 9, but I mean, he is still in dire straits right now. As we can see, full mining going on at the natural base of Jehova right now. We'll probably see him look towards a 3rd base very soon if he doesn't actually just go for this a very strong 2-base push at the moment. The unit count of Filthyrake sitting at 5 sentries, 5 zealots, 3 stalkers, and the mothership core. So, you know, there isn't really too much here. It looks like Jehova is about to get started with the push. He has finished up with the combat shield. Oh no, it's just on the way. Sorry, the combat shield's around about halfway done. Concussive shells is now finished up for the Marauders as well. We've got +1 weapons already done for these bio units. Of course, they do have +1 on their armor as well, just on the way. And with more and more units now pouring down the map, we've got Jehova. He's just probably going to rally stuff down, I'd say. Yeah, he's just rallying everything down. He's going to go for the push very soon. If Filthyrake has any hope, it's going to rely on some extremely fantastic force fields. You know, we're talking about some gorgeous force field donuts that we'll probably have to see out of him if he is going to have any hope, because he has no real splash damage at the moment. And I mean, you know, there are some ways to pull off no splash damage wins against bio units, bio-based clumps like this, but I mean, it is extremely difficult, especially at this stage of the game. So he is, it looks like our intel player, Jehova, is going to be able to push in here and get some very sizable damage done, if not a win. First, he's going to clean up one of the pylons on the edge of the base, and now is going to look to head straight inside. What does our Palantir player have? Not really too much. Still just a very minimal gateway force. 1 on the armor for the upgrades. That is all he has right now. Looks like he was attempting to get some more tech on the way, but unfortunately, with a barely mighty natural base, and you know, the main has been sort of almost non-functional for quite a lot of this game, he is going to be in quite a lot of trouble trying to defend this. But it looks like the final battle will commence. Hellbats at the front, Marauders there as well. Stim goes up. Keep in mind, the Hellbats will get healed up by those medevacs as well. And with the photon overcharge down, it looks like we will see Filthyrake just hold for a moment. But you know, it's not going to last too long. The photon overcharge doesn't, it only lasts for around about 60 seconds, so it's not too long, especially when you've got a Terran building up forces just outside your main base here. So he is just biding his time. It looks like he wants to get a Void Ray out. We'll see if Filthyrake is going to be able to add that in and try and utilize that, but with a few Vikings up in the air. In fact, it's only just 4 Vikings, and I mean, that's going to be enough to deal with this. And he is trying to warp in at the back. A 3 Zealot warp in, going to try and come through to the 3rd base. This is actually completely unprotected, but the issue is that this is going on. Jehova now pushing in another photon overcharge going down on the Nexus. A little bit of Marine Marauder micro there with that stim. The Medevacs providing the heals. The last of the Gateway forces will fall. Of course, the Vikings cleaning up that Void Ray up in the sky, and that is going to be it for our Palantir player, Filthyrake, the captain, coming out. Unfortunately, his undefeated streak is going to come to an end, and we will see him tap out in just a second. There it is, a GG from Filthyrake. Very well played by Jehova, doing those Hellbat drops, which have been extremely popular in Heart of the Swarm, especially in TvP. So we'll go into game number 3 in just a moment. Of course, this puts the scores at 2-0. Intel up at the moment. If they are able to win the next game, then we will see them proceed and take week 3 in a victory against Palantir, or perhaps will the next player from Palantir be able to come back and bring out a win and start the revival for Team Palantir. We'll go into that game in just a moment.